Let's continue the story here at Brands Hatch. It is time for the second GB3 race of the weekend. It's going to be fascinating. It's going to be fun. Our pole sitter, once again, trying to convert it to another victory. Yesterday's start was interesting. Let's see whether today will be the same. Well, we are currently awaiting the starting of this race. As I mentioned, the second race of the weekend. We are in the final stages of this GB3 season when it comes to rounds. Only 2 more weekends after this one. But still, we've got 2 races coming up today for you. So if yesterday was enough, then my word, what do we have coming up today? It is going to be fascinating, including a reverse grid later on as well for race 3. In the commentary box, my name is Omi. Delighted to be with you as per normal. And alongside me for all 3 races this weekend for the first time this season. And only the second time he's been with us on a weekend when it comes to GB3. It is Wes. Hi Wes, welcome back. And let's get ready to go racing again, I think.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. And yeah, it is time once again for GB3. And we're going to get round 2 of Ninovich versus Slater. So yeah, after being profoundly defeated yesterday, I think Freddie Slater's going to want to come back much stronger, and yeah, so Ninovich is going to have to keep an eye on his mirrors, I think.
He will indeed. It's going to be highly competitive, this race. We have learnt across this race that we had yesterday for GB3, we've learnt across the GB4 racing as well, that overtaking around the circuit is tricky, but it is not absolutely impossible. It is not Monaco levels where you're going to be stuck behind for the entire race. You need to have a good pace advantage. You need to be able to produce something spectacular, and then there is that absolute chance. Another thing, Wes, is you can try force your rival into a mistake. This is a driver's circuit. Mistakes can happen.
It certainly is, yeah, and you definitely need to be committed on this circuit. It's not these corners aren't something you can go into half-heartedly, and yeah, that does open up, as you said, the possibility for mistakes. So yeah, only real committed drivers will be able to succeed here, and it's going to be fascinating to watch.
Yeah, it takes quite a lot, doesn't it? It takes quite a lot. Right, it is now time to continue to build up to this race that we have coming up. 2 DRS zones around this circuit, by the way, as we've already talked you through yesterday. It's a championship battle, which if someone is to deny Alex Ninovich, it has to begin now. It has to start at this phase. You have to start getting in those results, or Alex Ninovich is going to start getting fingers on this championship trophy, along with the one hand that he already has. Because time's running out. You've got to be rapid. You have got to be quick as well. It's going to be quite the race. It's going to be quite the challenge for these drivers. Experience is very important as well. You've got 11 turns. It's a narrow circuit as well, and you've got plenty of elevation change as well. 2.4 miles in total, and it's going to be fascinating to see how the drivers will handle it. But for the moment, let's ride on board for an on-lap.
Circuit with JHR Developments Kai Darianani. Paddock Hill Bend coming up first. Massive undulation change downhill through the exit. The car bottoms out until we head up towards Druids. Braking in a straight line diagonally to the apex, hug the curb on the right hand side, and then full power out to the curb on the left. Immediately to the right hand side to open up the downhill entry off camber apex of Graham Hill Bend. FIA track limits here this weekend, so 2 wheels over the curb is fine as long as 1 wheel is on the circuit. Surtees, a late apex, uphill at the exit, the curb comes up quickly, you can't run that otherwise the car will get pulled off the circuit. Now, the only straight part of this circuit, down Pilgrim's Drop up towards the massively fast Hawthorns corner. Just a lift and a downshift for Kai on this lap. Flat out through the apex, curbs comes up quickly on the left. Westfield next, technical corner, blind on entry, bumpy through the middle and exit. Do not use the curb on the left hand side. It's a one-way ticket to the barrier. Next up, Sheen, blind entry, committed to the middle. A bit of a wobble of oversteer immediately to the right hand side to open up Sterling's. Banked on the entry, track flattens out on the exit. Do not use too much of that curb on the exit once again. One more corner to go. Clark Curve and Clearways. Blind on entry once again. You have to be at full power before you can see the exit, trusting the grip of this GB3 car. And that's a lap in under 1 minute 20 seconds of the Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit.
It has been a record-breaking weekend so far. The word I was trying to get at before I drew to that was hot lap as well. That is what you saw around this Brands Hatch circuit. Cars are awaiting to head out onto this circuit, and the team is directly down there as we continue to prepare for this race to begin. Let's head down there right now, taking a look at Deegan Fairclough.
Up and open the curtains and think.
Well, it is perfect for all the fans here out today here at the pre-circuit attendance, and they're going to be treated to a very good GB3 race in a few moments. I think we've got a bit of a delay at the moment though.
That's fine. That means me and you get more airtime, Piers. We get that's no problem. We can see Freddie Slater here, then the very, very striking red and black car, number 27. So he's obviously, you know, come back into the championship having been away and done some amazing things. It must be quite hard as a driver to dip out of a championship and then drive a different car and then dip into another one and drive a car that's kind of similar but also has different characteristics. He was saying yesterday the FIA F3 car has a lot more downforce.
Yeah, and also the tyres are different as well, and I think it's not to be understated. The drivers that we've got in this championship that do a number of different categories, it's so hard to jump from one car into another with limited track time and then be absolutely on the pace. And there's a number of drivers, we've spoken to Nikita Johnson already this weekend. He's been flying backwards and forwards to the States and also sampled FIA Formula 3. Freddie Slater we've spoken to as well, who's done the same thing, and it's just trying to actually maximise it out of the specific car. And each weekend when you're learning a new car effectively or relearning it every weekend is tricky for the drivers.
We're looking at the cars here of well, we've got some great drivers actually here. Jean-Marc Pradel, Hiyu Yamakoshi, who's back actually as well from doing FRECA in Europe as well, and Kai Darianani. Yamakoshi's another driver that's kind of like driven another car and come back in, and it'd be interesting to see what he can do in this race.
Yeah, I've actually been very impressed with Hiyu Yamakoshi. You know, he jumped in and out of the championship, kind of like Freddie Slater's done. But when he's been in the championship, very, very fast. And for a driver that's come, you know, all the way from Asia into a different culture, let alone different race circuits, he's doing very, very well. Only a few tenths away from Freddie, who's got a lot more experience in this area of the world in racing for the same team, Hillspeed. Been very impressive, and you know, his pace has been good. He's had some good results previously. I think he had, you know, fourth in the reverse grid, a fifth when he joined us in Spa in this very race. But then, you know, sixth place yesterday. He could even go better today after gaining a bit more experience, because this is one of the circuits, and he's an example of a driver that won't have raced a huge amount around the Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit because it gets used so little throughout the year.
I think he's starting, is it fifth in this race? You've got the notes in front of you there. Sixth in this race, and then Jean-Marc Pradel just start behind him. Obviously, it must be hard as well when your teammate is doing really well. Obviously, Alex Ninovich storming things at the moment in the GB3 Championship. You see the number 21 car here that we're looking at now, the roading car of Jean-Marc Pradel. It must be a bit frustrating when you're not quite up there.
Of course it is. You know, your first reference as a driver in a championship is your teammate if you have them. And when your teammate is outperforming, it doesn't feel good, but you can use it as a learning opportunity, because the results, of course, over race weekends and your championship seasons are hugely important for, you know, getting credibility in the sport. But also, you're trying to build yourself as a driver and build your skills and build how good you are, basically. And you can learn off really strong performances like Alex Ninovich, and Pradel will have direct comparison in terms of data behind the scenes and car setup and the way he's driving to Alex Ninovich, and he'll use that to improve himself and get closer to Ninovich this weekend, but also be better prepared when he comes back here or goes to other circuits, because he'll know what driving techniques Ninovich is using, how he's getting the time out of the car, and he'll know that, you know, it's in the car, so it almost gives you an incentive to know, right, actually there's time to be found. Because sometimes when you're on your own or you don't have teammates, you think you're achieving all you can, but all it takes is someone to drive the same car and go a bit quicker to open a new door for you.
And of course, for Abby Pulling, the third member of that team, good data, good learning for her as well, so that's helping Abby. Now, as I said earlier, you know, you might be new to the championship, watching some drivers from around the world. We've seen the car. Just to give you a full picture of the GB3 Championship as a whole, here's Lewis McGlade again.
The GB3 Championship, partnered by the BRDC, is run by MSV's racing arm, MSVR. The 2025 season will consist of a maximum of 30 drivers across 10 teams, driving the brand new Tatus MSV GB3025 car. Each race weekend consists of 2 15-minute qualifying sessions held back-to-back on Saturday and 3 races, each of 25 minutes in duration. The grid for race 1 is decided by the first part of qualifying, and the grid for race 2 is formed by the times achieved in the second qualifying session. The third contest features the top 12 drivers from qualifying reversed on the grid, with the rest of the drivers lining up behind them in their qualifying order. There are 24 races across the season, including overseas trips to Zandvoort, Spa-Francorchamps, the Hungaroring and Monza, which is this year's season finale. The Canada starts in Silverstone this weekend, before the first of the year's overseas events in the Netherlands and Belgium in May, and the return to Hungary in July. The traditional second Silverstone event and the visit to the Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit both take place in August, before the penultimate rounds of the season at Donington Park at the start of October, and then the season showdown in Italy a fortnight later. There are no required pit stops in GB3, but each car is only allowed to use a maximum of 8 tyres per race weekend, the equivalent of 2 sets, meaning tyre management is critical. The prizes for GB3 include FIA Super Licence points for the top 5 drivers in this year's championship, a critical requirement for drivers aiming for Formula 1. Any driver looking to compete in Formula 1 must have accrued 40 Super Licence points over a 3-year period, and this year's GB3 champion will receive 10 points. The Jack Cavill Pole Position Cup also returns, which awards each driver securing a pole position in qualifying with a cheque of £300 and a trophy. The driver with the most poles at the end of the season receives a trophy and an extra £2,000, as does the team of the driver with the most poles. The Omologato One to Watch award will again be presented to the drivers at each round, with a prize watch on offer every weekend for the highest scoring driver across the first 2 races.
So we're in the assembly area here before the cars go out. Piers, just explain the process of a driver getting ready for a race and the kind of different things you've got to do, because you've got to start down in the lower paddock here and make your way here, and I'm sure there's other things as well.
Yeah, it sounds like quite an easy thing, just get the car here and get yourself ready, but it's actually for a driver quite an important process for your mental state as well. The drivers will use themselves getting ready as like getting themselves in the right frame of mind, getting themselves in the right, right brain waves, even as a lot of the drivers will do, mental training to get themselves to perform at their best. And it starts with getting your kit on, which is not easy either, because it's fireproof underwear, then fireproof overalls, your boots, your gloves, your helmet, everything like that. The drivers will get their cars, drive up here, and then once they're in the assembly area, when we've got a pause like this, some of the drivers jump out and try and relax. Other drivers like to stay in the car and stay in the zone, and not getting thrown off by different situations is important, for situations like this. But then you need to be able to fire yourself on. Mentally, these drivers are operating at absolute capacity when they're racing around the circuit like Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit. And if you're not in the right frame of mind, you're going to, fluff your start. You might make a mistake. And the margins are so fine. We saw it yesterday. I think it was Jack Sherwood just dropped a wheel, over the white line through Sheen yesterday. Lost all the positions he'd gained through qualifying and the start of the race. And other drivers absolutely nailed it. And Alex Ninovich, he nailed the start and pulled away. And he was clearly in a good state. So that whole process from it's time to get ready all the way through to the start lights going out is hugely important. And a lot of the drivers will have a routine.
Given the performance and the concentration we've seen from Alex Ninovich starting on pole position again, do you think a delay like this will actually affect him much, given that we have seen some serious mental and physical strength to drive these cars so well?
Do you know what? I think if anyone's going to be affected in this race by the stoppage we've got or the change of situation, it's probably not going to be Alex Ninovich. When he's qualified
4 tenths.
I think it's nearly 4.5, 5 tenths clear of the rest of the field. He's shown he can repeat that in the qualifying yesterday. I don't imagine they'll have made a huge amount of changes to the car, so we'll know what the car's going to feel like. He's confident this weekend. It's when you're you're not sure about how it's going to go. You've made changes to the car. Your first race didn't go well. That's when potentially there's cracks in the armour that then things can pry open, or your rivals can maybe make the most of. But yeah, Ninovich, I think, is going to be sitting there pretty chilled at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. He's already taken the trophy and the money that comes with the Jack Cavill Pole Position Cup. And Piers caught up with him yesterday to discuss how he was feeling after a very, very successful qualifying.
Alex, pole position race 1, pole position race 2 at a world famous and challenging track. You must be very happy.
Yeah, really happy with the result today. I knew the car had the pace, I knew I had the pace, and I sort of kept nice and calm before qualifying. I knew that as long as I put it together, we would be at the front. And the first half of Q1 wasn't going too well. We caught a lot of traffic and just a little bit unlucky on track positioning, but then there was a red flag, went out again, and then obviously showed what I had, and went straight to the top and held that, and then did the same in Q2. same setup, just go again and try and tweak up on a few little mistakes I made. And yeah, again, 4/10 to P2 and then a second to P4 and P5 is a massive gap. So yeah.
Yeah, you're hearing at the moment from Alex Ninowich. Now, we are under a delay at the moment. So, the Genettas were out there as well, I think, a moment ago. Now, we had the GB4 race that completed. Can I just say, first of all, an absolutely extraordinary race. There has been a crash in that race as well, as I've just literally gone onto Instagram and I'm seeing Resid also message me the same, so I just saw the same thing as him. We've had a crash and there is medical staff on the scene at the moment, so it is not the best down there at the moment, unfortunately, when it comes to news to bring you. We'll keep you up to date with it. And of course, don't expect us to be going anywhere in terms of the racing anytime soon until we do get anything from there. But Wes, you also just saw the exact same thing, as I can see you've messaged me. But yeah, so there's been a bit of an incident in that.
Yeah, there has. I went back and looked at the footage, and yeah, it was the driver of car number 13 had a spin. I'm just looking for that. That was Katrina E. Was the car who had the spin, and then was collected by car 17, which was Max Murray. And it was, unfortunately, Katrina E's car was just spun and was unfortunate enough to end up in the middle of the track, and Max Murray just had nowhere to go. So the footage catches it live and then quickly cuts away, and no replays were ever shown of it. So yeah, we expect right now that medical staff are still on the track trying to help those drivers out. So yeah, as soon as we get any updates, we'll be sure to let you know.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'm sure also John Jackson and Piers Pryor will also be receiving some of the updates as well. So we'll pipe in if there is anything, but we'll let them continue to preview and build this delay up. As they mentioned earlier on, they love the extra on-air time.
He's going to really want to get on this podium and maybe even further up the podium today.
Do you know what? He was unlucky yesterday. I think of the drivers in the front two rows, he actually had the best start. He got nearly along. Well, he got alongside Freddie Slater, who was looking even potentially to make a move for second place, but just by the positioning of the cars and a good move from Slater around the outside of turn one, he remained in fourth place. And then we saw yesterday Slater going from fourth place into turn one. Move around the outside into Druids for the lead. Didn't pull off in the end. That got him second place. But I think Hoytson Roeder will be in a good mental state. He knows how he needs to start the car. Do the same as yesterday. He can get a good start. He'll have seen how the things play. He'll be maybe looking at that video last night and then making a different plan for today. He could be definitely challenging for a podium. I think pace-wise, maybe not quite as quick as the front three, but he had the pace in testing, and if they've made a few changes overnight and he's gained a bit of experience, had a good start yesterday, he could be a genuine challenger for a podium, and that would be a great result for him because he's fighting for place in the championship.
With these drivers, we've just been sort of looking of Pat speaking with his race engineer. What kind of stuff is being said at this point? Because you've had your debrief after the last session, you'll have your sort of pre-race briefing, I'm guessing. What kind of stuff are they talking about? Right now,
it'll either be one or two things. Because we know we've got a delay, it'll either be updates on the delay, going to be 10 minutes, going to be 15 minutes. At the moment, we don't know how long it's going to be. Or it will like just chit chat. A lot of the engineers and the management and the people around the drivers will just be trying to take their mind off the race. We know we've got a little bit of a delay, so just relaxing for a bit and taking your mind off what's ahead can be a good thing, because if you just sit there and stew, you can almost mentally tire yourself out for the start of the race. So you'll see a lot of the jovialness. Some of the drivers may even jump out the cars shortly. At the moment, we're waiting on word, so everyone's still in the car waiting to go. But it's going to be, it's interesting to see the different drivers like different things as well. Some drivers are quicker to jump out and have a chat. Other drivers like to stay in the zone. But it's just part of where the psychology of your own drive and your own team comes into play.
And of course, drivers do hydrate massively, don't they, before the race? So having hydrated a lot means, if there is a delay, you might need to be running to the little boys' room.
Yeah, and also it looks like the drivers have been told to just jump now, so that some of them may even go for a quick wee because they stay very hydrated over the weekends. So it looks like we're going to be a little while longer now. But that will be a good opportunity for the drivers to cool down. these cars, it gets hot in there. It's very confined. You've got the radiators to either side of you, the heat soak from the engine when they're off as well. It can get quite uncomfortable, and it feels quite nice when you get out of the car and get some air around you, because you get quite sweaty in these.
Well, there's one British driver who I won't name, doesn't race in this championship, who likes a double espresso before he gets in the car. I mean, that to me sounds like it's probably good to hype you up, but also could be quite risky.
I mean, depends how you do. But I'm a caffeinated man, but I know some drivers like to use some caffeine to get themselves revved up. It's famous who does that in Formula One. I think young drivers, you know, some of them 18 years old, maybe they haven't even had caffeine before. Who knows?
I'm sure maybe water is the main thing. I mean, you say you're uncaffeinated, and one of the first things Piers ever said to me was, "I'm uncaffeinated." And I was like, "Oh, you don't want a coffee then?" He was like, "Absolutely not. Just likes water." Yeah, I mean, obviously different drivers have different ways of doing it. What about food? I've seen drivers have bananas before they get in the car.
Yeah.
There was one driver, wasn't there, a few years ago that had something really weird before he got in the car. I can't remember what it was. It might have been James Headley. It probably was James Headley, knowing him. But what kind of stuff? What are you eating? It wasn't the cake. The cake was his whole race weekend, wasn't it? The ingredients are like a cake.
Yes.
There's one driver. I think it was a banana. I can't remember what it is. What was your pre-race snack?
Well, the drivers will definitely fuel up over the night before, because it spend a lot of energy driving these cars. You mentioned Nikita Johnson was at the Big Easy last night, getting the protein in to recover. But then throughout the day, they'll keep things light. You don't want any heavy foods that stodgy, because they're putting so many G's around these corners. If you have a big heavy meal, I mean, anyone at home will relate to that. You don't want to go for a run after. Well, this is effectively a similar sort of thing. So there'll be light meals, rice and chicken and stuff like that. And in fact, why don't we ask one of the drivers what their ritual is? We've got pole sitter Alex Ninovich here. Alex, we were just discussing potentially what the drivers, do over a race weekend, what they eat. What's your preparation look like?
Probably not as crazy as some others, but the last 3 nights I've been eating at the club that I train at, which they have all around the UK. So yeah, every night. And for breakfast I've been having egg rolls, so maybe not the most healthiest thing, but it does the job.
It gets the protein, and that's for sure.
Yeah.
Talk to us about your mindset now. We've got a bit of a delay. John and I were just chatting about, it's quite important to sort of know when to mentally switch on, mentally switch off. We know we've got a delay now. What are you sort of thinking? Are you trying to switch off and relax for a bit?
Yeah, definitely get out of the car and cool down a little bit and get your mind back focused. It got quite hot in the car there and started to get a bit tired, but now I feel a bit more energised. So yeah, I think should be good once we get back in the car, and should be good to go.
Let's talk about the physicality of racing these cars. It's high G-force, they're very fast cars, a lot of grip, and especially around a bumpy, fast circuit like this, it's physically quite hard. That's where physical training comes into it, right?
Yeah, definitely. One of these tracks where you have to stay not only focused but physically strong throughout the whole race to be so precise. Yeah, definitely plays a big role in being consistent, and obviously finding that lap time out there where you might not think it is, but it's most likely probably in yourself. And
talking about lap time, you're the man that's been finding the most lap time this weekend. Absolutely blistering pace in qualifying. Matched that again yesterday. We haven't seen quite the dominant pace this year from this weekend from you yet. We've seen you on pole before, but where's the extra pace come from this weekend?
To be honest, I don't really know exactly, but I guess it's just a combination of everything. I felt really comfortable leading up to the event, just knowing the track raced on here last year, and I knew the car was good, and I knew that I kind of liked that track as well. So yeah, I went out in qualifying and just drove how I thought I needed to, and everything came together really well. And obviously the margin to second was really, really big.
It was really big and quite impressive. And Jonas and I were talking. I suggested that potentially you're probably one of the most relaxed drivers at this stage with this delay and everything, because you know everything's been going your way this weekend. You seem pretty relaxed to me.
Yeah, definitely. I think as long as we get the process right leading up to the start and get the start right and execute from there on in like we did yesterday, I think we should be in a good spot. Knowing starting off pole, you get a good position to lead, and yeah, I think as long as we get the start right and get a good turn 1 and turn 2, I think we should be fine.
Well, Alex pole sitter, we'll let you go and chill out and relax ahead of the race and keep cool, because rode as 4th place on the grid. Pat, we were just chatting when you couldn't hear us and saying that yesterday I actually thought you got the best start of everyone on the front 2 rows. Just the situation didn't quite play out, and I reckon that you had a look at the video to see what you could do better today.
Yeah, definitely kicked myself a bit going into turn 1 after watching the video, but get a better start today and maybe jump the front row. So yeah, we'll see. But everyone's got now a start under their belt, so yeah, just make sure I repeat and see what happens.
You had a front row seat for that attempted move around the outside of Druids from Freddie as well, which was quite tasty as well. You're hoping to replicate that, maybe go one better?
Yeah, definitely take some inspiration from it. It was in the back of my mind. I was just a bit far back from Deegan, unfortunately, so probably wasn't quite on his gearbox enough going into turn 2, so then closed on the brakes, but you know, to roll a lot of speed around the outside, you need to be really alongside.
Yeah, and let's talk about the race as well. I think, I said it a moment ago, I don't know if it's fair, but I think yesterday didn't quite have the pace of the front three, just dropped off a little bit. Have you made any changes overnight in terms of your driving setup, car setup, or to try and, you know, just bridge that gap a little bit?
Yeah, you're always tweaking the car. I mean, like whenever you're at a track, you're trying to improve it. Dropped off a little bit, but you know, overall lap time we're not that far off. So I think get on the pace a bit quicker today and see what we can do. But unfortunately, it's pretty hard to, once you get behind them, it's hard to get past them, but we'll see.
Yeah, dirty air, of course. And also the margins are so fine. We've seen all year it's been so close. And the circuit round here, you know, explain why it's harder to overtake round here than maybe some of the other circuits that we visit.
Yeah, just due to the nature of the track, you know, it's fast and flowing with not many straights, so the slipstream effect is less, but the dirty air is the same through the corners. And due to the higher speed in the corners, you get more dirty air coming off the car in front. So that's generally why we struggle to get a bit closer. But you know, anything's possible, and you know, eyes forward always.
And we've got DRS this year, which helps a little bit get a bit closer.
Yeah, a little bit. You know, helps the top speed, but I think Deegan and I both lost that on lap 2 yesterday.
No worries, Pat. We'll let you go and chill out for a bit, and I'll grab a word with Deegan Fairclough, who's starting third on the grid in this one. Deegan, podium yesterday. You've not had as many podiums this year as you would have liked, but just I think like this weekend you've got a bit of extra something.
Yeah, obviously this being a local, I love this circuit, probably my favourite circuit on the calendar. And yeah, it's so abrasive, and that's the thrill of this circuit. And yeah, we had the pace, and a few mistakes on my behalf in qualifying put us off P2 or P1 potentially. But Alex's pace yesterday was quite phenomenal, so fair play to him. And yeah, we had a really good start in race 1, and hopefully we can do the same today.
Another podium would be good for you. You've got experience racing, Alex. You guys went toe-to-toe last year. I mean, of course, you had a very, very strong year, but he was pushing you all the way. How different is it racing the same drivers in a different championship? You've moved, you know, not always in the same teams as well.
Well, it sucks losing, sucks getting beaten, but yeah, he's been quick all season so far, and I've had a bit of a roller coaster season so far, and yeah, I'm just looking forward to the race coming up soon.
Yeah, you spoke about that roller coaster. It's been a difficult up and down year for yourself. You've had good pace, of course, at different points. Things haven't quite gone your way sometimes. What's your outlook for the rest of this year? Is it more sort of learning? Are you still trying to get results? You know, you're in the championship hunt, sort of 6th place coming into this weekend.
Yep. Definitely keep our heads screwed on and score consistent points. I mean, we ended off, well, we didn't end off Silverstone quite strong, but the pace was there, and we're still learning. So hopefully the next couple of races today and the last 2 rounds goes quite smoothly, and I want to get back on the top step quite soon.
Well, we'll see. Maybe even this race.
Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Well, you need a good start for that. Deegan Fairclough there, going for 3rd place. We've got Hayu Yamakoshi, correct? Yes. Hiyu, my mistake. Hiyu Yamakoshi. Hiyu. I was singing your praises a moment ago. It's a circuit you've not raced at a huge amount. It's a bit daunting coming here, but you've done very well. You know, it's qualifying 6th place in this race.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, this track is really tricky. Like, it's really special for me. It's like very old stuff. Yeah, the qualifying, I was quite surprised at P6. Actually, the P4 before the red track and the fastest sector 3. I think it's very positive after the summer break. I mean, after summer break, I chilled a lot, and back to Japan by 1 week, and I gained 1 kilo easily. So but still P6 is fine. So still I'm running a lot in this track. Hopefully, I can make some 1 position or 2 gaining position, and hopefully I have a nice podium chance today.
Yeah, luckily you've got, you're a slender man. You've got a bit of extra to put on. Japanese food is very popular here in the UK. It's very tasty. What's your favourite? Your ramen, sushi?
I'm yakiniku. You know yakiniku?
I don't actually. What's that?
Like a barbecue. Like basically coming from Korean. A Korean barbecue. They're coming from yakiniku. It's like just beef and pork, chickens.
Hence the 1 kilo added.
Yeah, easily yes, and rice and beef and
But hey, you came back strong, I'm sure.
I think so. I hope so.
It's not your lap times at all, has it? Well, anyway, let's talk about the race ahead.
Yes.
6th place, good race yesterday. What can you do today?
Yesterday I had a little mistake in the start, so hopefully I have a nice start today, gaining 1 position or 2, even 2. Yeah, Freddy had a bad start yesterday. He lost 2 positions, but still he gained 2 positions and then finished P2. So which is impossible to gain 2 positions in the start, even more. So I will try that one. That things. Yeah, let's see. That my race pace wasn't bad. So
It wasn't bad at all. Hiyu, thank you so much for chatting to us. I'll make sure I pronounce your name right in future. Apologies for that. Hiyu Yamakoshi. Starting from 6th place, Hill Speed driver. There we go. And we've got Reza Siruthan here as well. Reza, driver racing for Argenti with Prema. Reza, strong weekend out for yourself last time at Silverstone. Very different challenge here at Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit.
Yeah, very different circuit. So Silverstone's got all the runoff in the world, and you've got very little runoff around here. But yeah, I love this circuit. Unfortunately, qualifying didn't go very well. Had a gearbox problem, but yeah, you've got to take it as it is and try and just make up the points in these races. Although the overtaking's hard around here, made up some places in the first race, and just try and do the same in this one.
It seems to me like this second half of the year, you've really taken a step forward in confidence. The way you're driving, the moves you were making at Silverstone, you look like you're really at one with the car, and that you've made a step forward with the team as well, new team to the championship. Is that a correct observation?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, some big steps in the team. I say because we have people coming from all different places, trying to get everyone to work together and stuff. But yeah, we're working really well now. Pace is showing it, and yeah, happy where we are.
And enjoying smashing a GB3 car around Brands Grand Prix as well.
Yeah, definitely. Dream to drive a high downforce car around here. So everything before has even been F4 Ginetta Juniors, which is nothing like this. So nice to drive a faster car.
Fast lap times around here as well. I think we're quicker than the 1970s and early 80s Formula 1 cars, which is pretty mental, isn't it?
Yeah, that's pretty cool, especially when we're on the Indy on the Friday. But yeah, it's good fun around here.
Yeah, and it's a quite physical circuit as well. Bumpy around here, different challenge. Does this car feel different because you have to set the car up differently around here?
Yeah, a bit, just because it's so bumpy and the car bottoms out like in the middle of a high-speed corner and things like that, so you've got to set it up a bit differently, but it's fairly similar to other circuits.
You say bottoming out, of course, I used to drive myself, we know what that means intuitively, but for someone at home who's only ever driven a road car, explain what that feels like and why that is something that is necessary but also not ideal.
Just feels like you're being slammed into the ground, really, and you just lose a bit of straight line speed, so obviously you want the car as low as possible for straight line speed, but also you don't want to be bottoming out too much because then you cause resistance on the car, so yeah, just it's not a nice feeling.
No, but let's talk about some of the undulation changes here. We've spoken about the bumps, but Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit, I mean, Paddock Hill, you're literally dangling on the belts and slammed into the ground at the bottom, and then you've got Pilgrim's Drop and then out the back as well.
Yeah, no one really realises how much of a drop turn 1 is. I think my first ever time I did it in a Ginetta, I was terrified. I came out the pits, I was like, whoa, that's a big drop, especially in these cars when you come around so quickly, but yeah, you get used to it pretty quickly. You
do get used to it pretty quick, and you mentioned that qualifying didn't go exactly how you wanted. I think your pace in testing and pre-event test was probably stronger than that. So what can you do in this race to move forward from your grid position of 13?
Just good starts. I say the start line here is at a bit of a bend, so it makes the starts interesting, but got a good start yesterday, so I just want to replicate what we did and send some big moves.
Absolutely, we look forward to that. And just before we move on, you mentioned the start. It is a unique starting position here. I found it when I raced it quite difficult. Like I didn't know whether I was going to go on the throttle or hold on the brake. What have you found that works best?
Definitely going to be holding on the brake because you're either facing up into the sky or facing down the hill. Yeah, just hold on the brakes and make sure your clutch control's good.
There we go. Do you drive on the road these days?
Yes.
Is that a bit of an extra help there?
Yeah, definitely.
Reza Siruthan for Siruthan.
Seaworthen.
Sorry, Seaworthen. We'll get it eventually. We'll get it right. It's only you're the second driver I've pronounced wrong in this show, so don't worry about that. I'll let you go and chill out, get sort of mentally prepared for the race. We're going to bring in Flynn Jacks, who we caught up with yesterday. Flynn, I mentioned in that chat that we had earlier, I feel like you've definitely gained in confidence as the year's gone on, and it's a strong weekend for you this weekend so far.
Yeah, 100%. Even with where I'm starting today, obviously the position isn't great, but the feedback that I've gotten this weekend and the rate of improvement and what I've taken in has just been really good.
Yeah. And how are you enjoying the challenge of Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit as well?
Yeah, it's such a good track. I mean, you go around here, it's a 25-minute race, and it's just 17 laps. You get to about lap 10, you're like, oh my God, it's still going.
And what you say that it's physical. Is it what bits physically do you feel it in?
It's mainly just how bumpy this circuit is, just trying to hold on. And obviously you got big car, big weight, big load, big speed, and you're just trying to hold on as everything's shaking around you.
Yeah, and of course the neck as well, I suppose, around here. You train that, don't you?
100%, as much as I can.
Yeah, and how does one train their neck? Because this is maybe something that people at home who haven't raced before, you don't realise you actually need a quite strong neck, don't you? But it's vital to keep your head up, which holds your eyes.
Yeah, that's a good way of saying it. Hold your eyes and hold your concentration and everything. For me personally, the best way of training my neck is using my actual body strength. You try and find a way to hold your head up, and you lean against it with your head to see if you can build muscle there, but it's quite unorthodox.
Yeah, definitely. It's not something that many athletes have to do, is it? And especially, you know, you need to be lean and strong, but then you make big old necks is interesting. This race starting from 17th place. How you feeling?
Hard track to pass around.
Flynn, I'm just getting word that you actually probably need to go and get ready because we might be going racing soon. So I'll let you go off there. Flynn Jacks for Elite Motorsport. We're going to grab a quick word here. Talk to us about how Abby's weekend's going so far from your perspective.
Oh, not too bad. A little bit up and down, like it's kind of been throughout this year. Free practice was really good. Was it yesterday? Feels like the weekend's been so long. And the race was all right yesterday as well. Qualifying could have been slightly better. It was all a bit manic, putting sectors together, which is hard to do around this track. But progress. It's, you know, we're slightly working our way back up to where we were at the start of the year, which is good.
Yeah. And Alice, of course, a lot of people know who you are, but for those who don't, you know, how do you fit into things here, and especially with Abby as well?
Well, I don't know, you better ask Abby that question. I mean, mainly, I worked with her last year in F1 Academy, and obviously she won the championship there, so we've continued to work together this year, and what a big step it is coming from F1 Academy up to GB3, but Abby's loving every second of it, but there's still a lot to learn. She, you know, jumped first in the new GB3 car same time as everyone else, but missed out on a lot of what happened last year towards the end of the year because F1 Academy didn't finish until December, so it was just trying to play a little bit of catch up. But here to just, you know, remind her of the things that she needs to do and learn. And we've been around a long time, Piers, so I'd like to think we both know what we're talking about and passing on knowledge of everything. But no, it's just giving the support because it's so competitive. This championship's highly competitive, great cars, great teams that run in the championship, and you just need to try and learn and string it all together to make sof you get the best out of yourself, and that can be hard to do at times.
And learning is very important, of course, as these drivers are trying to get results, but learning is hugely important. No better person to learn off than Alex Ninovich, who's been on fire this weekend. Where's the pace that he's got? I mean, Abby's been not far off, but like, Alex is on fire.
We keep saying to Alex, look mate, you're going to give everybody else a chance. Well, this is not fair, but he is just like, comparing to like Mr. Piastri, who's just calm, cool, and Alex is like calm, cool. He just gets on, drives it. But he's doing a fantastic job, as is everyone at Rodin Cars and Rodin Motorsport. You know, it's a great little team. We've got Gianmarco as well, and it's really nice. They all support each other, and yeah, they've got the great data because they've got the fastest data on the track to learn from too.
And what and you can't give away any trade secrets, of course, from behind the scenes. But what sort of things are you working with Abby comparing to like Alex to get her closer comparatively?
I think mainly it's just sending the speed in, trusting the downforce. It's a big jump, as I said, from the downforce level from F1 Academy up to a GB3 car, and it's just trusting the speed. You know, slow speed, we're there. You know, sometimes we're quicker, but this is obviously a very high speed circuit, and there's a lot of the tracks that we go to a high speed. So it's improving, it's chipping away. You know, it's quite a daunting track here as well. It's just trusting that you need to turn in flat, and it's going to stick.
It's hugely confidence based around here. I think we can both speak from experience. Yeah, maybe we didn't have the confidence, which is why we're talking about it.
Stood here.
Exactly right. Exactly. Alice Powell there, helping Abby, pulling along with everything behind the scenes. Unfortunately, the incident on circuit in the race before means that we are on a hold. We don't know when we're going to go racing, so we're going to just hold on for a bit now. We'll keep you informed as best we can, but stick around for the GB3 race that will be happening hopefully soon.
Okay, it's now our time to fill, looks like, as they've gone off. They've left us with a little bit of music, but I guess it's our time to now start talking a little bit. Hello, Wes. How's the day going then? How's the morning going? The very early morning.
Yeah, it's it's all right. Haven't long been up and about, unfortunately. So yeah, this wasn't really the way we wanted to start our day off for anybody. Still no updates yet on the two Ginetta drivers involved in that horrible incident. It seems that the Ginetta YouTube channel have actually removed the live stream, which which is not good. And this is obviously quite a long delay. So yeah, the medical people down there where it happened are obviously wanting to take their time, and as well they should. You know, the safety of the drivers is of paramount importance. But yeah, it does mean we do have a lot of time to fill.
Yeah, we do indeed, and it is quite the dramatic day so far across the GB4 race, along with what we've had in the Ginettas, unfortunately for the wrong reasons in the Ginettas. GB4 was out there racing earlier on, as I mentioned. It's been a record-breaking weekend in terms of lap time for them as well. Some good racing when it has come to that one. Wes was following the race as well as myself yesterday. Today's race was very good as well, very in the morning as well. That's what I had breakfast to in the morning and got to enjoy. I can see Enzo Tarnvanichkul is getting out of the car. The Red Bull backed driver, of course. So we've got a shot right now at everyone who's in that paddock at the moment. So all of the drivers, all of the cars. Abby Pulling still appears like she's in her car. We just heard from Alice Powell, she's to the side. And a great combination, Alice Powell and also Abby Pulling. They worked together for so long, and Alice Powell is really the person you want to have alongside you.
Yeah, very much so. And Alice is obviously not able to make it to all of Abby's races because she does a lot of her own work in broadcasting for either for F1 TV or for Radio 5 Live. She's very, very good commentator. Is Alice Powell? She's really great at broadcasting, much better than me, I have to say. But yeah, so really good. But she was able to come down to see Abby's race this weekend at Brands.
And if we look at all of the races that we've had, GB3 this year, we've not had a red flag at all this year. We've not had any, we've had minor delays, but we've not had anything major where everyone's just sat around in this paddock at the moment, all just sat stationary. We've not had that. We've not come across that. So if there is a round where you want someone like Alice Powell alongside you, this is the one that you would specifically want it. So we are currently awaiting. So GB3, Pierce Pryor, John Jackson did an amazing time of filling, thanks to the drivers who unexpectedly had to quickly come and provide some interviews as well. So a huge thank you to them as well for helping them fill time, but understandably so, of course. If we're not getting anywhere, then there's no point continuing at the moment. So we will continue to fill. Of course, we'll stay on air and continue to talk to you about this GB3 race. This is race number 2 of the season. It's been a fascinating season so far, and Wes, it's a perfect one to have you for. So I have to say a huge thank you for waking up this morning. It probably was a better idea if you did stay tucked in bed, but thank you for coming and joining me when it comes to this. Of course, yesterday we had the opening race of the weekend. It was your first race back since the season opener. Now, the weird thing we've had this year, round 2 all the way to round 5, every weekend's clash with F1. So we've not had you on ever since the opening round of the season. So overall, as we didn't get time to discuss it yesterday, what's been your overall thoughts when it has come to GB3 in 2025? You've missed quite a lot after that Silverstone race 3 that we had, which Will McIntyre won.
Well, I've got to say, I know that the live stream commentators were talking about this a little bit in yesterday's race as well. The overriding thought has been that if Freddie Slater would have done the whole season, which he's not doing, he's only here whenever it doesn't clash with Formula Regional. If Slater was here for the whole season, he probably would have run away with it. And although I don't disagree with that sentiment, I do have to say Alex Ninovich has surprised me a lot this year. If we look back to his time in British F4, he was with Deegan Fairclough on pace for at least the first half of that season, but he really did fall away towards the end of it. And either just his overall pace or his confidence was just really lacking towards that last little bit of the season. And Fairclough was able to take a dominant victory. This season, though, in GB3, and both of them did move up to GB3, of course, the roles have just been completely reversed. Ninovich has just come out of the blocks, just immediately all guns blazing, and he's just been largely uncatchable. Of course, as I mentioned earlier, Slater seems to be quite a dominant driver, but especially in yesterday's race, Ninovic seems to be very much on the pace of Slater, and of course he did beat him yesterday. So, yeah, really, really surprising, a pleasant surprise from Ninovic, and looking at his career going forward, it seems to be very, very positive for him.
It has indeed at the moment. So the journeys the drivers do, of course, they arrive to this part lots of different ways. Do these drivers? It's always incredible to watch. It's always incredible to see as well. Like Yamakoshi, he was racing in Italian F4. Slater was racing in that championship as well. And then we've had, of course, plenty of other things that drivers have come to. British F4, GB4. You have so many different routes that lead the drivers to this level, and a lot of drivers bypassing these levels as well, going straight over to Formula 2, Formula 3. So it's a very fascinating place at the moment, this motorsport industry, this motorsport world. Deegan Fairclough there, I can see in the number 7, is just getting out of the car momentarily. I think now's the point where even if you are one of those drivers, now Piers Pryor, of course, from all of his experience, telling us a little bit about all of the drivers and how, you know, some might prefer to take a bit of a chill approach now that we're in a delay, that we might get out. And then you have some of the other drivers on the opposite side who prefer to stay in the zone, prefer to stay in. I think now it's getting to a point where even if you are one of those drivers who like to just stay in the car and get yourself prepared, you are getting to the point where it doesn't look like this delay's ending anytime soon, so it might just be better to get out of the car at the moment.
Yeah, I've just seen a message from MSV on the live stream that mentioned there will be at the very least a 30-minute delay. Not accounting for any updates that may follow. So, yeah, as much as the drivers would prefer to stay in the car, and almost all of them would, in order to keep that mental focus as attuned as possible, a 30-minute delay is a 30-minute delay. You know, there's really no point in staying in the car. So, yeah, I expect all of them will want to get out, maybe grab a drink and talk to their engineer a little bit. But yeah, so that 30-minute delay is it's not necessarily a bad thing as far as the condition of the drivers involved in the incident in the Ginetta race. But yeah, we're still just waiting for news, so we don't have to assume the worst.
Absolutely. Now, Wes, I'm going to give you a bit of time to quickly get up this, but I want to go into a bit of the schedule as well that we have. All of the races that take place today at Brands Hatch, because as we've mentioned, it doesn't look like it's going away anytime soon this delay. At least 30 minutes, and that's just at least. You still have time to wait as well, and then of course we've got to get this race underway. There's plenty of racing, as we've mentioned. We've got 2 GB4 races. One's already been done today. You've got 1 extra GB3 race later. You've got 1 more GB4. You've got the British GT. That is of course the main event that we're all here to support. So we're going to go through. Everything. But yeah, I believe we should be getting going soon. So let's say if we are going with the assumption, Wes, that we do get going in 30 minutes, because from the information that I'm receiving, he's been taken away in the ambulance and the car is being recovered at the moment. So if we are going off the assumption that we will resume in 30 minutes, how does this affect the schedule? What possibly might they need to do?
Yeah, just looking at it now, so this race was supposed to take place, of course, at 11:30 local time. That will now be delayed to probably 12:30, which, yes, will push the Ginetta GT Academy race, which was supposed to take place at 12:10. So, yeah, it looks essentially like we will just not be getting a lunch break.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully they can still fit the Ginetta GT Academy race in there. It may be a reduced race 2 for GB3 as well. That's a possibility. I don't think anything will be able to affect the time for the British GT because yes, they of course broadcast on Sky Sports F1 as well as on YouTube. So yeah, and being the main event, of course, they won't want anything to affect that schedule. That takes place at 1 o'clock local time. So yes, all things being going well, we expect a shorter GB3, perhaps even a shorter Ginetta GT Academy race, with the British GT race still taking place at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, we've seen it, we've heard it multiple times in the British Touring Car Championship as well, with all of their supports, with all of the chaos that you can have. It is something that we can see from time to time as well. It is something that we can get as well, in terms of the fact that we don't have a lunch break, so that is a possibility. Tan Vanichkul there, getting back in his car. Pullings remained in the car. I'm just seeing the fist bump being given, so it looks like we could be getting going soon. I'm seeing a lot more movement. I'm seeing a lot more like we're getting ready to go racing. The drivers have been given the message. The marshals there. We thank all of the marshals. We thank all of the marshals who do the work across the weekend. It can be quite challenging on weekends like this, especially when you have to deal with such bad incidents as well, like the one that they would be dealing with when it comes to the Ginettas as well. We thank for all of their work that they do to allow us to go racing as well, and it's and a few of them there who aren't involved and sorting out that accident. A lot of them there taking some pictures with some of these GB3 cars that are getting their foot to the floor, and we are getting underway. So we expect the world feed to be coming back any second as well, and we should be returning back to action here in this GB3 Championship. We'll bring you news whether it will be reduced or what is going to be taking place. This is race number 2. Of course, the really interesting one will be race number 3, but we thank the organisers who have let this one continue, let this one run as well, as we try and get this GB3 event in. So we make our way out onto the circuit, and they'll be doing their laps to the formation. They'll be doing laps to the grid, and then of course we'll prepare for the formation lap, and we'll bring you all up to date with that one. But the cars are being released, Wes.
Yeah, that's right, and so they're heading out onto the track now. So the track is obviously clear.
Yes. Sorry, Wes. It looks like I'm being told that the cars are all going to the paddock as well.
Oh, okay. So right, that would explain why Piers and Jonas aren't back on yet. So yeah, hard to glean a conclusion from this. People making their way out of the paddock now. So yeah, anytime we get an update, we'll let you know. But yeah, so was a lovely day here at Brands Hatch.
Yeah.
It's been darkened somewhat by that incident, and we of course wish all the best to the drivers involved, Max Murray and Katrina E, who are on their way, of course, to the medical centre if they're not already there. And yeah, we wish them all the best.
We do indeed. It is not the scenario that all of the fans who went out there to enjoy some Brands Hatch action would have wanted, Wes.
Yeah, actually, there's a possibility the race might have been cancelled because the live timing has switched over to British GT. So, yeah, the GB3 and Ginetta GT Academy may well have been cancelled, or at the very least postponed till later. So, yeah, we'll wait and see on that one.
Indeed. So doesn't look like we are going to be getting a race, but for John Jackson's back.
Still in the assembly area, but all the cars have now gone. This race has been delayed, so it will be taking place a little bit later on. We've got the British GT race coming up, which is just after lunch at a certain time, and at the moment they're working out a revised timetable. So basically, keep an eye on the GB3 website, and that revised timetable will be published in due course. Hopefully we will still have 2 GB3 races. Of course, the second race of the weekend is the one that was done by the second qualifying session, and then we have the reverse grid race as well. So we are still expecting to have those 2 races. It just will be a little bit later on. So thank you very much for your patience. Hope you enjoyed the pre-show at least, and check the GB3 website for all of the revised timetables in due course.
Thank you very much, John Jackson. And well, there we go. Now it is a tight schedule as well, so we'll continue on air for a few moments. There's a curfew as well. That's important to remember. So there is a lot to get through, and if we are basically scrapping both the GB3 and the Ginetta race that was set to come, it's going to be very tight.
Yeah, that's true. There's not much room, it has to be said, on the schedule. And the curfew primarily in place because Brands Hatch is built in a heavily housed area, particularly the Grand Prix loop, which can only be used a few times a year. I know the Indy circuit is used quite often, but the Grand Prix loop, which we are using for this event, yeah, I don't know the exact number, but it's relatively few times a year. So yeah, that's the reason for the curfew, and but we have to have faith in the power of the schedulers who deal with this sort of thing all the time, having to rearrange events, that they'll be able to put together a new schedule that's satisfying.
Yeah. I am hoping that we get the reverse grid race. Of course, Alex Ninovich will very much disagree with that statement, I'm 100% sure. But if we could only get one GB3 race, I hope we still do get the reverse grid, because I think that's the very fascinating one. That's the one that Alex Ninovich has to do a bit of work in, I think it's fair to say. What's the possibility, of course, if we look at it from now, what's the possibility of an extra race at Donington? Of course, Italian F4 and some other series can sometimes, like F1 Academy even, can sometimes slot some in. I'm not necessarily talking about what the schedule is looking like for Donington, but is GB3 the type of series that could put in an extra race if the schedule was to allow it at some point in Donington the next round?
I'm just racking my brains, actually, trying to think of a precedent for it. There's definitely been races cancelled in the past, mostly due to weather-related reasons. I don't believe I've ever seen 4 GB4 races on the same weekend. Usually because of the aforementioned very, very tight scheduling. Of course, there's 3 different Ginetta categories, as well as GB4 and British GT. So yeah, I don't think they would do that personally, but I mean, I've been wrong before, so yeah, just have to wait and see.
We're still waiting for the Italian F4 news as well from race 2, in terms of we know that they're gonna try reschedule it, but once again, that's another thing. Are we gonna have like 5 races at Barcelona or something? Because and also, of course, our season will conclude at Misano, so we're most likely to have 4 races there. So I wonder whether they're gonna dump an extra race in between those 2 rounds. But yeah, you weren't with us. I had to talk the viewers through the very horrifying scenes of that accident when it came to Imola as well. That was on a very busy weekend, as F1 were at the Hungaroring. Freca joined Italian F4 at Imola, and GB3 went to Silverstone. So a very busy weekend, and it was a race that nearly ended at 8 p.m. for myself, which would have been 9 for them as well. And then, of course, we couldn't continue it due to obviously having the scenario where the curfew came in, and we were already delayed. So we already had like around a 40-50 minute delay to the race anyway, and then we got that incident that happened. So what was your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I did see that footage yesterday. Horrible accident, and I do believe the sun was starting to go down as well, so there was the issue of losing light with a single seater event. Obviously, those cars not having lights, so yeah, impossible to go racing really. Yeah, it's just this happens sometimes. It's there's so many factors that can dictate how closely a schedule is kept to, and yeah, you just have to take the good with the bad with that.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, that's going to bring our GB3 coverage to an end. Now, don't worry. We will keep you up to date as much as we can. There is MotoGP going on, so I will inform Joshua Birch as well to give you guys information on when this race is, when we get the new schedule, and also if there is any news in regards to the incident as well. So the 2 drivers involved, we are still waiting news on whether they are okay, but we tried to get a race in, of course, understandably so. There was a lot of cleanup, and I think the priority, of course, being the driver's health, the driver's safety. So that, of course, took a lot of time, understandably so, as well. So, unfortunately, it's not what we came here for, but the only news I want to hear that the 2 drivers are okay from this. Wes, I'd love to get your final thoughts then from what has been quite a few challenging hours as well with that incident, but we do hope the 2 drivers are okay.
Yeah, very, very challenging. Yeah, it's no one likes it when this sort of thing happens. We wish all the best for the drivers, and yeah, very, very bad situation to be in. But yeah, we'll keep them in our thoughts, and we'll be sure to let you all know the second we know that racing can resume.
Okay, so GB3 have just said on social media our races at Brands Hatch will be rescheduled for later in the day. A new timetable will be followed. So I think the way they're wording it, Wes, I know I just got your final thoughts, but we just had a bit more information come through. I think the way they're wording it, they're very confident that we are going to get 2 GB3 races coming up today for you.
Yeah, that's good to know, and obviously their hands are quite tied as far as scheduling due to the British GT having to take precedence over all else. But yeah, they're working as best they can, and it's good to know that they seem confident that we'll be able to get 2 races today.
Okay, well, that is it. My thanks to Wes, my thanks to Piers Pryor, to John Jackson, and to Lewis McGlade as well. A huge thank you to those 3 as they talked us through some of those delays as well. It is not what we wanted to see on what has been quite a sunny day at Brands Hatch. I'd also like to say my thank you to the marshals as well, who unfortunately were the first ones onto that scene and who had to go out there and look at those horrifying scenes as well. So my thanks go to the marshals, to everyone at the circuit as well, and hopefully everyone is okay from that incident. I'm just receiving a bit more information. I'll quickly check whether it's anything to mention before we go off air. This is the moment, by the way, where I try go off air, but every time we're just getting a bit of stuff getting feeded in to us as well. So I'll just quickly double check for you, as I know this has been a very podcasty thing, but that's how, unfortunately, when we've not had any racing to talk about today, that's how it can be. I'm just going to check whether this is anything to mention for you. If not, then we will be able to go off air as well. Okay, yes, so we've got a statement from Brands Hatch that has come through. So following an on-circuit delay here at Brands Hatch this morning, the British GT Championship race, as we predicted, will still be scheduled at 1 PM. This will be the next circuit activity. Further details on a revised schedule will follow. So, that has been the official statement that has come from Brands Hatch as well. So, the British GT, as we predicted, due to all of the broadcasting and everything that's around it, that will remain at 1 PM. So, that will be coming up in about 39 minutes time as well. So, yeah, probably it wasn't a good idea to get any Ginetto or GB3 race underway as well. Okay, so they will get the circuit ready for that. As I mentioned, my thanks to everyone who has been a part of this broadcast. It was a long delay, but thank you for helping me fill it, Wes, and we will hopefully be able to bring you 2 GB3 races later on today. But the only thing I want to hear that the 2 drivers involved in that incident are okay. Thank you very much for joining us in this delay. We'll see you later for GB3. Goodbye.